Welcome back, viewers, to another news hour on Jamono Media and Products. We first begin with our headlines. Gambian pilgrims due back next week. WAEC speaks on reported exam paper leakage. Sympathizers demand justice for Boubacar Keita. President Adama Barrow to commission 38 new buses today. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. The Gambian pilgrims to this year's Hajj are due back next week. Imam Babali, a member of the National Hajj Commission, confirmed to the Standard yesterday. According to him, the pilgrims will begin arriving on Wednesday, 27th July, with about 400 people on the first flight. The rest of the pilgrims, he said, will arrive the next day, Thursday, 28th July. According to Imam Babali, all Gambian pilgrims are fine with no serious sicknesses or death reported so far. This year's Hajj was smaller because of the reduction of the quota, but it has been very successful, with our pilgrims complying very well during the Hajj, which was so helpful, Imam Babali said. He also said there has not been any major complaint apart from some complaints about the quality of food. He called on the families of the pilgrims to give them chance to rest on their return from Hajj, which is a very physical demanding venture. Following the interview with a top Minister of Education official expressing concern about the frequent leakage of exam question papers, the management of the Banjul office of the West African Examinations Council reacted by stating that while it was aware of the posting online of its exam question papers, in all cases the postings were made after the start of the examination. WAEC also said in some cases the questions posted and purported to be the real questions turned out to be fake. The full statement from WAEC reads: the article commenced by stating that the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, denounced the frequent leakage of the WAEC examination question papers. This opening statement gave the impression that leakage of the question papers for WAS for school candidates 2022 was frequent. They wish to correct this impression by informing their esteemed readership that this was not the case at all. Indeed, the council is privy to its question papers being posted on social media platforms in the last edition of WAS, but in all cases the postings were made after the start of the examination. In some cases, the questions posted and purportedly to be the real question turned out to be fake. The council monitors every report of the leakage of question papers and would be quick to replace them if leakage is confirmed. It may also interest them to note that the council is vigorously pursuing the perpetrators of these postings in all the member countries. In this country, in particular, a report was lodged with the Serious Fraud Office and individuals were apprehended. A respectable financial institution was also approached and appraised of the use of their services for the perpetration of fraud. The council has the past 5 years spared no efforts to sanitize its stakeholders and the general public in general on the need to combat examination malpractice in all its forms, including the use of internet to publish so-called WAEC questions. The best way to combat the activities of these so-called question papers peddlers is to abstain from patronizing them. Schools and other stakeholders are ought to adequately sensitize potential examination candidates on the futility of patronizing them, for after subscribing, candidates have no guarantee of receiving what they want and at the time they want it. This is not to mention the criminal and the socially nefarious aspects of examination malpractice in general. Sympathizers of Boubacar Keita yesterday gathered to demand a fair trial and justice for him as he arrived at the Bundung court, which blood samples to be taken from Bob Keita and the deceased child involved in the case. He attracted a heated debate among Gambians both at home and abroad. However, yesterday hundreds of Boubacar Keita sympathizers gathered at the Bundung High Court to protest for a fair trial and justice for the accused. They lashed out at the prolonged justice delay for their fan, who they said has been remanded at the State Central Prison Mile 2 for 2 years now. They chanted "Free Bob." They want to appeal to Adama Barrow to amend this bad law because many men are wrongly jailed for rape and many of these cases are not true. President Adama Barrow, the nation is sad and they want you to come out and speak about Bob Keita's case because they know if this case was under Jammeh's regime, he would have taken a step. A lady demanding justice for Boubacar Keita told the reporters. Men, please marry good women. Some women are not good. Don't marry women for their beauty, but marry women for their morals and character. This case shows that Bob is being set up. How can a case go for 2 years and Bob being remanded at the Mile 2 for 2 years? Another protesting lady said. They stood for justice for the country, President Adama Barrow. How this country is going is not okay. Their lives are at risk and their life is at risk. He said. They said for her justice and for the country. They are not for violence, they are here for justice. They have hope in the justice because the entire people stand for justice and all mothers stand for justice. Bob Keita must be released. They are happy about the light turnout and this so that Gambians need justice. They are not only here for Bob Keita, but they want to know that. But they also want to know what killed baby Muhammad, who was innocent. Bob Keita must be released and they are hopeful that justice will be passed on for Bob to be freed, another protester said. President Adama Barrow will today commission 38 new buses and launch the urban transport initiative at the Makati Square by 11 a.m. The new buses are expected to ease the burden of transportation across the country. This initiative is in line with the Gambia's National Development Plan and which recognizes the important role public transport services contribute towards the efficient functioning of the national economy, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure stated in a presser yesterday. GTSC is in partnership with the automotive arm of Q Group and Espas Motors. President Barrow is said to be joined by the ministers, GTSC Board Chairman, GTSC General Manager, Social Security and Housing Finance Cooperation Manager, and the Director and the Q Group of CEO. Those were the stories for our today's news bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, let's take a recap on our top stories. Gambian pilgrims due back next week. WAEC speaks on reported exam paper leakage. Sympathizers demand justice for Boubacar Keita. President Adama Barrow to commission 38 new buses today. Those were the stories. Many thanks for joining us with your presenter, Mariama Gilen. Do have a nice day.